Hello, hello, hello. I think it's working. I think. Let me just refresh the stream on here. And hopefully we're good to go. Let's mute it first of all, because I don't want to hear my own voice. Certainly not. Right, I think we're on. I think we're going for it. Hello, hello Chaotic Cam. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? I think the mic still works. It's working. Awesome. Great, great, great. Hello everyone. Welcome. I've gone for a bit of mood lighting. It's not as visible on the stream unfortunately, but there we go. But here we are. Hello Isabella. Let's get comments up on there. Okay, I have one person who says they can hear me, one person who says I cannot. Chaotic Cam, I see why you are called Chaotic Cam, because you gave me a heart attack just then, thinking my microphone wasn't working. So how dare you, first of all. But yes, hello everyone. Hi, hi, hi. Apologies, I had to completely restart the stream and set up a new one. Basically, the first time I tried to set this up a few days ago was it wouldn't let me set a specific time for some reason. It was going all a bit weird. It was like, that's fine. I'll do it on my iPad. So I set it up on there. And then when I actually came to do the stream, which I'm running from my laptop, for some reason, if you've set up a stream on a different device, you can't just carry it over, even though it's on the same kind of profile, which is odd. So I had to redo it. That's fine. Didn't take too long, hence why I'm here basically on time, which is better than my last stream when I was half an hour late. So hello everyone. Welcome to something a bit different, something a bit new. This is a read-along for Buffy the Vampire Slayer Colony, which is a Stake Your Destiny novel, as it is called, which is a choose your own adventure. This one in particular is from 2005. Here we go. Written by Laura J. Burns and Melinda Metz. An original novel based on the hit TV series created by Joss Whedon. And yeah, I did put it on. I don't know why I had to show it up. I've literally put it on the stream for you to see. But yeah, we're going to be doing this, and you guys are going to be deciding how the story goes for the most part. And yeah, I've read the blurb, so I get a bit of an idea of where we're going, but I'm not going to spoil that for you guys just yet. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to do something a bit different. I ordered this a month and a half ago, and it came 2 days ago. So long time waiting for it. And I got this one in particular because it was the least expensive on Amazon, basically. I didn't even know these choose your own adventure books were a thing, but I kind of wanted to do a stream like this, and I found one. So yeah, how is everyone doing? Are you ready for us to together tell the most incredible Buffy story of all time? Are you? I am. Basically, yeah, it's going to be quite something. I'm sure you know how choose your own adventure books work. I don't know how long it's going to take. I believe it's set around season 2-ish, if that helps inform your decisions. When are you doing the next episode? When I get to it is the answer. I always say in my reactions what I'm doing next. So be sure to watch the whole commentary, because I always say at the end, my watch order is available. I adore Choose Your Own Adventures. Excellent. Well, hopefully you'll adore this one, because again, I haven't read it. I don't know the quality of the writing or anything. I don't know if the story's any good. Based on the cover, it's interesting. It looks like a giant bug thing, so it's not a praying mantis, I don't think. I actually think the man, if you look at the cover, the man in the bottom right, it looks like Xander close up, but he's eating a lot. So I'm intrigued to see what that could be. But yeah, here we are. Very, very intrigued. And without further ado, might as well get right into it. One thing actually before we start, I have put a link in the main video as a comment, a pinned comment. I'm sure a lot of you are aware I did a charity live stream the other day for the NAACP, which we absolutely smashed the target. So thank you all. We've raised nearly 700 quid, but it is still going until the 30th of June. if anyone hasn't donated yet or feels like they want to. Obviously, no pressure. I know times are tough, so if you can't donate, it's absolutely fine. But there is a link there for you to donate if you want to. And yeah, this is set during season 2. And yeah, I'm excited. So, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Stake Your Destiny, Colony. There's even a note to the reader. So I'll read that first. Because, guys, into every generation a chosen one is born who will stand alone against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. In this generation it's you, Buffy Summers of Sunnydale, California, high school student by day, slayer of the undead by night. It's a tough gig, but somebody's got to do it. Now, this sacred birthright thing comes with a few rules. Always listen to your watcher, never fall in love with a vampire, and whatever you do, do not read this book in sequential order. Okay, you can ignore those first 2 rules, but the last is non-negotiable. Make sure to follow the messages at the bottom of the page. They'll let you make a choice regarding the storyline, giving you a different page to turn to depending on what action you decide to take. As usual, the fate of the world is in your hands, so choose carefully. And isn't it about time you got to make your own decisions? Break a leg. Just make sure it's not your own. So there we go. Turn to page 1. That's a pretty good instruction for me. In fact, actually, let me be right back. There we go. Just wanted to grab something to use as like a little bookmark, in case we need to, if we kill Buffy off or something, we have to go back. But yeah, I hope we are all ready for this. I don't know, there's a prologue bit, but it doesn't seem to be... Oh, actually, it is a bit long. But there's a prologue for me to read, so buckle up, kids. Get excited. And this is the prologue to Colony. You walk into the Sunnydale High auditorium in your "these boots are made for walking" boots. Problem is, with the extreme pointy toes, they're not so much made for walking, more like made for squeezing all your little piggies into one club of angry red flesh. Bad choice buying these babies, even though they are so pretty. You slide into the empty spot next to your best guy pal, Xander, and stick your feet up on the seat in front of you. Relief from the pain. Principal Snyder gives you and your pretty boots the hairy eyeball, but he's all the way across the room, so you ignore him. Pass this to Cordelia, Xander says, holding you a piece of paper that has been much ado folded. His brown hair is flopping in more of a planned floppy way than its usual Xander doesn't care about his hair floppy way. I might, if you tell me what it says, you say. His face goes a little pale, and a wave of alarm rushes through you. You were just kidding, but that face Xander's making? It's a face that tells you the note contains something mushy, something that no XY type would want to admit to writing, except to the XX he was writing it to. But Xander writing something like that to Cordelia? That is so wrong, so unthinkable, so totally none of your business. You take pity. You lean across the aisle and whisper, "Cordy." She doesn't turn her head. She keeps on chatting away with the assorted cheerleaders and rich girls who form the court of Queen Cordelia. "Cordy," you say again. But a loud whack from the microphone on the stage drowns you out. Principal Snyder gives the microphone a couple of taps that echo throughout the room and through your brain. Ouchies. Worst sound in the world. "Settle down, people, settle down," Snyder yells into the mic even though it's on. It's far too early for such loudness. Willow rushes in and grabs a seat next to you. Unavoidable lateness. Bad faucet in the bathroom. Water. Pants. Did I miss anything? Well, it's a school assembly. In the history of all school assemblies, when is there ever anything you could have missed? Xander asks. We're only at the settle down, you tell her. We haven't even gotten to the threats yet. Detention for anyone who does not settle down immediately, Principal Snyder threatens. The short little men. You've observed that they do love to threaten. You hand Xander's note to Willow. Will you pass this to Her Highness from Xander? I could not get her to acknowledge me. Do you think I'll be able to? Willow protests, but she stretches her hand across the aisle. Cordelia, from Xander. Cordelia gives a long trill of laughter with a flip of her long brown hair. The laugh-hair-flip combo may or may not be related to Willow and or the note. Xander reaches across you and takes the note back. Forget it. I just wanted to ask her about the assignment in history. I'll ask someone else. You have a great internal lie detector. And boing, it just went off. I am very pleased to announce that we have a very special guest, Principal Snyder says. Boing! Your lie detector just went off again. Principal Snyder is not at all pleased. He's another word that starts with P and ends with ist. The Mayor has arranged for Miss Victoria Kane, founder of the Be the Ultimate You program, to visit the school and help you students with your self-esteem issues, the principal continues. She came on the right day, Xander mutters, fingering the unaccepted note. If you ask me, getting rejected by Cordelia should build up your self-esteem, you tell him, while giving up a few claps for Miss Whoever. Miss Whoever, who has some very pointy-toed boots of her own. She looks like she's a gym bunny, except bunny sounds way too round and soft. This woman has the body fat of a greyhound. Hello, I'm Miss Kane, and I'm here to help each of you discover your strength, the woman says. Her big, dark Christina Ricci saucer eyes seem to be able to look everywhere at once. Because when you find your strength, you find your self-esteem. You don't need to hear this. Your self-esteem is just fine, thank you very much. Besides, you're tired from patrolling all night. One of the grave poppers was especially feisty. And you had to get in some angel time, of course, so sleep would be much better for you than psycho blah blah. Buffy, do you think... Willow lets her words trail off. You open your eyes. Do I think what? Sometimes it seems like that guy, Oz. The one with the red hair and the Anderson's pea soup t-shirt. Sometimes it seems like he kind of looks at me. But I could be completely delusional. I mean, why would he look at me? Clearly you need to give a mini self-esteem workshop of your own. Because you're adorable. Look at you with your shiny red hair and your kitten sweater. And because you're brilliant and you're sweet and... You glance over at Cordy and the clones. You're a total original. Eyes forward, mouths shut, Principal Snyder snaps as he passes you in his patrol of the auditorium. You obey. You can't afford detention. For example, if you take the test and are ranked as a smarty, the brain is your thing, Miss Kane is saying. And how great is that? She punches her fist in the air, which is something no one over 8 should ever attempt. Especially someone over 8 wearing her hair in a bun. Even a bun that makes her look kind of school teacher dominatrix hot. Wait, did you actually just think that? And then an even more disturbing thought occurs to you. There's a test involved? You ask. Yeah, I heard we'll have to take it at lunch, Xander answers. It's to find out what qualities we can feel good about ourselves for having. He opens his brown eyes wide and gives you a big look monocavity smile. Oh, Xander. It's frightening. Tests plus Buffy never equals good feelings, you say. Tests plus Buffy during Buffy's sacred lunchtime equals extreme crankiness. I might need another number 2 pencil, Willow mutters. I have 3, but sometimes I sort of press down on a little too hard when I'm filling in the bubbles and there's snappage. Occasionally you find it hard to believe that you have become actual friends with someone who enjoys number 2 pencils and notebooks and those other studying accessories as much as you enjoy actual accessories. You return your gaze to Miss Kane, she of the sucking the joy out of lunch. I know your school has had more than its share of tragedy. Murders, accidental deaths, suicides, and it's my privilege to bring you my Be the Ultimate You system, because I feel that you students need it more than anyone. Because we're such incredible losers, Xander says. Thanks, lady. And I look forward to meeting each and every one of you to discuss the strengths I know you have within. Miss Kane does another fist pump. Thank you. You glance at the clock. A miracle's occurred. You've been released a whole 10, count 'em, 10 minutes before the bell is supposed to go off. Principal Snyder is scurrying toward the mic, but it's too late. Everyone took that thank you as a goodbye and is heading for the doors. I need to hit the library, you tell Willow and Xander. I had one of my dreams last night. You know, the kind that come true. So you need Giles to put on his turban and interpret, Xander guesses. Yep, because this is a weird one, you say. I'll come with, Willow volunteers. Maybe there will be research. Her green eyes visibly sparkle at the thought. Ooh, research. That's refuge of the terminally unhip, Cordelia interrupts, pushing her way into your little combo circle. Count me out. No one ever counted you in, you tell her. So, guys, are we library bound? No, says Cordelia. Did she not hear you say that she was uninvited? Why is she still here? I'm gonna, do something else too, Xander says. Heroically, he manages to ask, unless is the dream thing, does it require instantaneous action? Not until I get the lowdown from Giles, you tell him. Go do that other thing. But he's already gone. And so's Cordelia. You and Willow watch their quickly retreating backs. You try not to think about Xander's note and what was in it. Library, remember? Willow nudges you. Right. Library. Home of Watcher, interpreter of dreams. You lead the way to the library and right over to Giles, who's behind the checkout desk. I had one of the dreams last night, you tell him. Short version, Lucky from the Lucky Charms box was after me, except he was about 8 feet tall. And not a cartoon, and he never said anything that was magically delicious, and he seemed to want to kill pretty much everyone, including me. Giles does that thing where he frowns and blinks and acts like his English and your English are 2 different languages. Lucky Charms? He finally manages to say. Tasty cereal with toasted oats and coloured marshmallows. Willow jumps in, playing interpreter. Green clovers, pink hearts, blue moons. Oh, and also fortified with 12 vitamins and minerals. Giles's frown gets frownier. Forget the Lucky Charms, you tell him. All you need to know is giant leprechaun, much killing. Leprechauns don't in fact exist, Giles says. But there is a demon that might look like a large one to the uninformed. You try not to snort. Uninformed. Giles has never even heard of Lucky Charms. Who's the uninformiest? I believe that what you encountered in your dream was a Slaningham demon, Giles explains. They're very rare. As are leprechauns, you reply. He blinks at you some more. Yes, well, Slaninghams are extremely dangerous, not to be taken lightly. I'll need to do some research on their weaknesses and fighting techniques. Ooh, with me! Willow cries. Of course, Giles smiles at her. I do know they are nasty creatures, he goes on. They kill for sport, usually jumping rapidly back and forth between dimensions, which makes them tricky to fight. Fun, you say. Giles ignores the sarcasm. Meet me here at lunch, he says. We'll need to do some agility training before you meet the Slaningham, which will be soon if your past dreams are any indicators. As long as I don't have to pronounce it to kill it, you say. But we'll have to train after school. Principal Snyder has scheduled an all-school love-in for lunch. I beg your... We all have to take a test to help us with our self-esteem, Willow interrupts. Oh, yes, right, I received a memo, Giles replies. A test that encourages you teenagers to classify yourselves into narrowly defined roles, as if you don't do that to excess already. Cheerleader, brain, stoner, geek. Do I have it right? Not bad for an old British guy, you tell him. The bell rings. So, agility after school? Well, if you can't evade the test... Yes, but you'll have to be prompt. I need to leave at 4. Giles takes off his glasses and polishes them, though as far as you could tell they were spotless. You see, Jenny Calendar and I... You and Miss Calendar have a date? You squeal, sounding perhaps a bit too much like the cheerleader you used to be. Not precisely. Coffee was mentioned. In-school coffee or out-of-school coffee? Willow asks. We spoke of the shop around the corner, he admits with a faint blush. Outside coffee plus evasiveness and blushing. You look at Willow and together you say, it's a date. Oh, very well. Giles replaces his glasses. Buffy, I don't like to encourage you to neglect school tasks, but perhaps you could find a way to blow off the test that would teach me how I feel all warm and fuzzy when I think about myself? You ask. Your self-esteem has always appeared to me to be quite adequate, and you have never faced a Slaningham demon before. I don't want you patrolling unprepared, Giles answers. Now run along or you'll both be late to class. You and Willow run along. You meet back up by Willow's locker right before what would usually be lunch, but what was today would be test or training, which isn't really a tough decision. You don't want to go after that big red-haired, green-suited demony thing without the training Giles thinks you need. And it's not just because the training doesn't involve anything little bubbles and scratchy pencils. No, it's Miss Summers, Miss Rosenberg. You know that voice. It's the voice of the head leprechaun himself, Principal Snyder. I thought I would escort you two ladies to the auditorium for the test, he says. Miss Summers, I'm especially concerned with your self-esteem. I think that's perhaps you've been feeling bad about yourself because of your tendencies toward delinquency. Nope, you assure him. I'm very comfortable with my delinquency. He's not amused. He's never amused. He just crosses his arms and gives you the eye. You know what that expression means. It's either the test or detention. But Giles is waiting for you. What should you do? Okay, so we have a Slayer choice. We have two options here. So do we decide to claim Willow sick and say you have to take her home so you can blow off the Ultimate You personality test and train with Giles? Or blow off training and take the Ultimate You personality test during lunch? The wrath of Snyder is more threatening than the wrath of Giles. So what are we going to do, guys? What shall we do? Are we going to focus on training with Giles, or are we going to take the test? I'm aware that I'm like a bit ahead of you guys, so I'll have to wait to see what you think. And I think that prologue bit, that first section, that's like the longest passage I'll have to read before another choice comes up. So that was quite the chunky one. Test. I think test is going to have it, to be honest. I'd be very surprised. Oh, we have a training with Giles, though. Oh, we have another train. We have test. I'll wait for one more, and that will decide. I think test is going to have it. Oh god, this is close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think the test just clinches it, to be honest. So we're going to go with test. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to 3. So that was close. I didn't expect these decisions to be so close. So yeah, we're going to turn to page 66 then. Well, I'll put that there first because that's where we were before. Okay. Well, that's a strange sentence, but here we go. You're a mouse. Oh, question 10. You're a mouse. A kitten stands between you and a piece of cheese big enough to feed your whole family. What do you do? I fire whoever made up this kindergarten on drugs test, do you think? So far, every question on the Be the Ultimate You test has been more mind-numbingly ridiculous than the one before. And you have 20 more to go. How are questions about mice and crayons and blades of grass really going to help you build self-esteem? And how are you ever going to explain to Giles why you had to be there taking this stupid test rather than with him training? You chew on the end of your number 2 pencil and study the multiple choice answers to the question. A. Run and hide. B. Make a dash for the cheese and hope the kitten doesn't catch you. Or C. Wait until the kitten leaves. Kick the kitten's butt in hand-to-hand combat, you think. That's what you do if some mangy cat tried to keep you away from cheese. Your stomach rumbles as you let yourself picture a nice plate of brie for a minute. No time for breakfast this AM. With a sigh, you fill in the circle next to answer B. That's the problem with standardized tests. They never have an answer you'd usually give, so you end up choosing one that isn't exactly like you. And then the results are wonky, but you're supposed to treat them as gospel truth anyway. You still haven't stopped taking the love quizzes in Cosmopolitan though, because hope springs eternal. Besides, the alternative to bad multiple choice is a test full of essays, and you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. Well, maybe your worst enemy. It would be nice to see Spike or the Master be forced to take an all-essay test. Question 11. There is one lollipop left in the jar. Your sister wants it, so do you. What do? Once again, I choose butt-kicking, you think. You take a moment to thank the powers that be that you don't have a sister. Lollipop hogging or otherwise. Life as an only child suits you fine, and that's the way it always will be. A. Take the lollipop for yourself. B. Give the lollipop to your sister. Or C. Split the lollipop. Split the lollipop? What kind of reality-defying answer is that? You can't split a lollipop. You can't even share one unless maybe with your boyfriend. You wonder if Angel likes lollipops, and indulge yourself in a little sweets-sharing fantasy until Xander shifts in the seat next to you, startling you out of the pleasantness. You fill in the circle next to A. Question 12. You must choose from 3 entrees at a restaurant. Which do you choose? There goes the stomach rumbling again. It's so unfair to make you take a test during lunch, and it's downright sadistic to put all these food-type questions on the test. You study the answers, wishing the test were a menu. A. Cat food. B. Lettuce. C. Sugar. And you're stumped. What kind of freaky restaurant serves cat food? Not to mention lettuce or sugar. As a garnish, sure. As an additive to your coffee, definitely. But as an entree? You stare at the choices, willing them to make sense. But the force isn't working for you today. It's a bizarre question with bizarre answers. You glance over at Xander's paper to see what he's done with this one. But he's still on question 5. Should you ask for help? Seems kind of lame. Maybe you should just pick one and move on. But then maybe there's a catch. You get up and head toward the front of the room. Miss Kane and her fabulous boots are sitting at a table up near the cafeteria doors. You'll just double check with her. Who knows? Maybe you got a test form with some weird typo on it. Your fabulous boots, they are clumpy. In the quiet lunchroom, your footsteps sound like the hooves of a Clydesdale, and you're worried that everyone will be annoyed. So you do what any normal person would do while creating a ruckus in the silent exam room. Walk faster and keep your head down to avoid any eye contact with pissed off classmates. Except in this case, yuck. Ants. Creepy, crawly, ugly, industrious little ants, winding their way along the linoleum floor of the caf. At first it's just a few stragglers, little ants walking in circles or tracing some sort of serpentine along the floor in search of a few fallen crumbs. Then 2 or 3 ants together, walking with purpose. And as you continue walking toward the front, more ants, in lines, definite, straight, well-defined lines. 3 or 4 or 5 ants across, marching together toward the cafeteria doors. It's kind of mesmerizing. You watch the ants as you walk, forgetting to worry about your loud shoes and the bizarre test question. You've never seen ants acting in such harmony, as if someone has put up the directions to an ant rave on the ant internet and now they're all heading straight there, to Miss Kane. You look up, surprised. You'd been so busy staring at the creepy crawlies that you hadn't been paying attention to where you were. But here was the table at the front, and here was Miss Kane, a binder full of student transcripts open before her. She looks at you with her huge dark eyes. Can I help you? Her voice is deep and gravelly. Whoops. Her suit jacket is seriously gorgeous. But you can't get your mind off the ants. Where are they? Yeah, you mutter, staring down at the floor. The line of ants disappears under the table. You stand on tiptoes to look over Miss Kane's head. Behind her the floor is clear, no crawling lines. So where are they all marching to? Did you have a question? Miss Kane prompts you. I have a confusion, you say. About a question, or about the answers. You realise you're sort of babbling. But you know you just have to know where the insects are. How can you feel comfortable in your chair if you know there are thousands of ants crawling around the room and vanishing? You reach out and knock the student binder off the table. Oh, you gasp. I'm so sorry, I'm such a klutz. Fast as lightning you kneel and peer under the table. The line of ants is there, winding across the floor and up the legs of Miss Kane's chair. Oh my god, you shriek. You jump back up, scratching the binder from the floor before the ants incorporate it into their line. There are ants all over you. Miss Kane stares at you blankly. Excuse me? Ants, you cry. How can she not get it? Aren't they crawling on her legs? Ants, you add helpfully. She just blinks those big eyes. I am afraid I don't understand. But as she reaches for the student binder, you spot a tiny ant crawling along her hand. Look! You reach out to squish it. They're everywhere. Stop! Miss Kane yells. You stop, finger poised half an inch above the little bug. I can't believe you're going to kill him. He's done nothing to you. Miss Kane shoots you an angry look as she grabs a piece of paper and holds it to her hand until the ant crawls off onto the paper. She leans down to let the ant off the paper onto the floor. It walks off, and you know it's just going to rejoin the line of ants already there. You stare at Miss Kane. Are the ants all over her? But you don't see any more of them. Sorry, you say. I was just trying to help. By murdering an innocent creature, she demands. She's talking loudly now, and you're probably attracting even more attention than you did with your boots. Sorry, you mumble. Her expression softens a bit. Alright, so Miss Summers, is it? She asks. Did you need something? You stare at her in her posh clothes with her sleek black hair and dark eyes. She's an education tester, you remind yourself. So what if she has a soft spot for ants? There's nothing criminal about it. But what about the trail of ants? There must be a hole in the linoleum under her chair, you realise. The ants are going in there and heading underground. Right? Miss Bellicane was a little hyper about the ant squishing. That's odd, but not supernatural. And ants in a line? So annoyingly natural. So what should you do? Time for a choice, guys. Do you decide to ask for help on the question, then finish the test? So what if this lady has a bug fetish? Or do we say we're not feeling well and ask to be excused? Something's weird about this chick. So are we asking for help, or are we saying bye? I'll give you a minute. Ask to be excused. Ask for help. Ask to be excused. Bye! Wow, we're getting pretty even things again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 for excused. 3 for help. Okay, Cottage Pie just decided it. We're saying, can we be excused? So, turn to page 72. Oh, that's the very next page. Well, that's handy. I don't feel well, you lie. What you really want to say is, I need to get away from these weird swarming ants, and a little distance from you wouldn't hurt either, ant-loving lady. You suck your cheeks in a little, hoping it makes you look gaunt. You're sick, she asks, as if that's surprising. She's clearly not used to dealing with the high school set. Any experienced teacher would already have the suspicious face on. I'm feeling a little faint, you say. And that's not entirely a lie. Not eating all day, combined with thousands of ants that might be crawling on your feet this very second, has made you a wee bit queasy. I think I need to go to the nurse. Oh, Miss Bellicane looks helpless. Okay. I need a hall pass, you tell her. Now she looks even more overwhelmed. You take pity on her, pull a slip of paper from the binder and write pass and Buffy Summers on it. You slide it across the desk to Miss Bellicane. What do I have to do? She asks. Just give me your autograph, you chirp. Then she does get the suspicious face, and you remember you're supposed to be slick. You suck your cheeks back in and attempt to look pathetic. Miss Bellicane signs the pass, and you get out of there as fast as you can. The ants are still there, swarming up to the floor to her table. It's hard to believe nobody else has noticed, but that's Sunnydale High for you. You stop long enough to grab your bag and give Xander a smile, then you're free. Out into the hallway, down the stairs at the end and the left. You're at the library before you even know it. The feeling of ants crawling on you begins to subside the instant you step through the door. The library's safe. It's almost as much of a haven of sanity as your very own bedroom. And Giles is here. He'll figure out the deal with the ants. He's good with the figuring out. You're late, Giles says. Where's Willow? She's still taking the test. Snyder personally dragged us there, but not the point. You've got to help, you cry. There's an anthill in the cafeteria. He barely even glances up from his dusty old tome. Well, that's not surprising, he murmurs. I don't believe that place has been mopped one single time since I've been working here. No, I mean, there's something weird, crawling, swarming, antenna. You break off. Antennade? Antenna-ish? Anyway, it's weird with a capital W. And antenna. Now Giles does look up, giving you his patented why must American teenagers be so foolish grimace. I'm sorry? He asks politely. Ants, you say. Lots and lots of ants. Giles blinks. Are they giant? No. Are they mutants? No. Are they in any way supernatural? You're forced to admit they're not. They're gross, though, you assure him, and they seem to really like Miss Kane. My ears must be ringing, says a deep voice from the doorway. You spin around, and there she is. Miss Kane with her pointy-toed boots and her big brown eyes, and you are so busted. You don't know which to be embarrassed about first, the fact that she caught you in the library when you're supposed to be at the nurse, or the fact that she caught you talking about her. You think fast, and come up with nothing. You say. Miss Summers, I assume you're feeling better? She asks. Are you ill, Buffy? Asks Sir Giles the Clueless. Yes, you tell him through clenched teeth. I'm sick, and that's why I had to leave Miss Kane's test early. Oh. He frowns as he thinks that through. Oh. I thought you were going to the nurse, Miss Kane says. So you followed me? You reply. Sometimes a good offence is the best confuser of adults seeking to yell. Yes. I was concerned. You were very pale. Her voice trembles ever so slightly, and her big eyes are filled with hurt because you lied to her. She's good. She's very, very good. You may well have met your match. And that means getting sent to Principal Snyder, and detention, and a maternal disapproval. You have to find a way out of this. I just needed to pick up something before heading to the nurse, you say. Because I figured she'd send me home, and so I needed my something before I left. Here it is, Giles cries happily. He shoves a dusty copy of Around the World in 80 Days into your hands. You stare at him. This is supposed to be helpful? But miraculously, it works. I love that book, Miss Kane says. You do? You ask doubtfully. Yes, well, Buffy's reading it for extra credit, Giles tells her. She's always trying to get in some reading time, even when she feels a bit under the weather. That's very commendable. Miss Kane smiles at you. I'm terribly sorry that you're going to miss the rest of the Be the Ultimate You test. Me too, you say. But I feel kind of stomach fluey, and then all those ants push me over the edge. Ants, Giles said slowly. Finally, he's beginning to get the whole picture. There were a lot of ants in the cafeteria and Buffy was upset by them, Miss Kane tells him. I don't know why they'd cause such a reaction. I myself am fascinated by the entire species. They are quite an interesting species, Giles agrees. I recently saw a documentary on fire ant colonies in southern Peru. It was truly an eye-opening experience. As is this. Your eyes are being opened to the fact that Giles is even more of a nerd than you thought. Peru? Miss Kane beams at him. I assume it involved the Dinopenaria? Yes, in fact it did. Giles gazes at her as if she were one of his beloved books of demonology. He's smitten. It's horrifying to watch. Are you familiar with... I gotta go, you interrupt. You know, because I'm nauseous, and the ants made it worse. So the ant talk? Not helping. They're really quite harmless, Giles tells you. Well, except for the fire ants and the bull ants and the driver ants, Miss Kane puts in, laying a perfectly manicured hand on Giles's arm. He laughs loudly. Of course, yes, except for those. Yeah, so enough with the ants, you reiterate. You shouldn't underestimate them, Buffy, Miss Kane says. Ants have quite highly evolved civilizations. In fact, ants were already farming expertly before Homo sapiens even divulged into the chimpanzee. Giles backs her up. Oh, you say. They're not paying attention to you anymore anyway. They can't take their eyes off each other. Giles is actually leaning towards Miss Kane, as if they're talking about their undying love for each other and not about ants. You know, she purrs, holding out her hand. We haven't been introduced. My name is Victoria. Giles shakes her hand and holds it, not even pretending to shake. I'm sorry, you say loudly. This is Mr. Giles, the librarian. That should be enough to scare any normal woman away, but Miss Kane just gives him a slow smile. Wonderful, she murmurs. Call me Rupert, Giles says. Rupert. She makes it sound like a term of endearment or something. You're getting that skin's crawly feeling again, only this time it has nothing to do with ants. You back toward the door. This adult flirtatiousness is creeping you out. There's a band playing at a nightclub tonight, Miss Kane says. You stop in your tracks. That was an abrupt subject change. Several of the students are in it. I thought I might swing by. I like to show the teenagers that adults can be a part of their lives, that we take an interest in them. Like you obviously do with Buffy. Giles blushes and smiles coyly. You can barely stand it. I find it helps them learn to love themselves a bit more, Miss Kane continues. If teens don't feel so alone in the world, their self-esteem skyrockets. I wholeheartedly agree, Giles tells her. So many educators treat the students as lesser beings. It must wreak havoc with their self-esteem. Okay, now you've had enough. Giles sounds like a self-help book. Wasn't he supposed to be opposed to Miss Kane's category-intensive program? Maybe you'd like to come with me, Miss Kane purrs. The band is playing at a place called the Bronze. I'd love to, Giles answers immediately. Ah, hence the self-esteem psychobabble. It was all an elaborate ruse to make a date. You're willing to forgive that. Shall we meet there? Miss Kane asks. Why don't we have dinner beforehand? Giles suggests. That would be wonderful, but I'm afraid I can't. I'll be at the school until 6, meeting with students to go over their Ultimate U test results, Miss Kane tells him. Are you meeting with the students individually? Giles asks. That's very thorough. I'm a very thorough lady. You imagine her thoroughness is going to piss a lot of people off. Nobody mentioned having to do after-school meetings in order to be the Ultimate You. I'll meet you at the Bronze, then, Giles says. See you there, Miss Kane practically growls in her gravelly voice. She leaves without a glance at you. Finally, you can smack some sense into Giles. Giles, you have a date with Miss Calendar later, you cry. Are you planning to cut short your coffee date with her in order to meet Miss Self-Esteem at the Bronze? He looks at you blankly. Date, you repeat. Jenny Calendar? I guess I'll have to cancel that. He heads off into his office, leaving you behind. Shocked. What's happened to Giles? And now, we turn to page 80. You're still staring at Giles' retreating back as Willow and Xander come through the doors. Buffy, what happened? Willow cries. Yeah, we saw the self-esteem or die lady on her way out, Xander adds. Did she follow you? Are you suspended? Willow asks. No. You're going to be kind of shocked by a lack of lie to test lady skip test go to library punishment yourself, now that you think about it. She just flirted with Giles and left. Two pairs of confused eyes gaze back at you. Come again? Xander says. They flirted, you say, Steele reeling from the memory, by talking about ants and self-esteem. Ants? Willow sounds confused. And then they made a date, you continue. What? Giles is going out with Queen Freaky. Xander shakes his head. That's not right, she's all touchy-feely. But in a totalitarian sort of way, Willows puts in. Right, with the test-taking and the categorising and the witch boots, Xander agrees. You hide your own pointy-toed boots by stepping behind one of the library counters. Xander doesn't notice, he's still ranting. And Giles is, well, he's Giles, Willow finishes for him. He's kinda cool, you know, following the so uncalled it hurts methodology. Exactly, you say. He was totally against the Ultimate U test. And yet he's going to the Bronze with Miss Kane. Utter silence. Willow's brow is furrowed in confusion. Xander frowns. The Bronze, Xander finally says. Giles is going on a date to a high school hangout. I've never had a date at the Bronze, Willow says. Why does Giles get to have a date at our date place before I do? That's unfair. He should get his own date place. Apparently there's a band playing there tonight, you tell them. Miss Kane wants to support them. It will help their self-esteem. Yes, because musicians have such low self-worth, what with all the groupies and the band glow, Xander says sarcastically. Band glow? You ask. The mysterious phenomenon that causes even the scrawniest, greasiest guy on the planet to become a sex god the instant he straps on a guitar. Xander defines it for you. Oh, you nod. Band glow. Wait a minute. Willow practically shrieks. At the bronze. Tonight. Oz, the dingoes. You shoot Xander a questioning look. He shrugs. Huh? You ask. It's Oz. It's his band. Dingoes Ain't My Baby. You think back to this morning, that beautiful time before the weirdness that was Giles and Miss Bellicane. Willow asked about a guy who was always looking at her. Oz is in a band. Yes, Dingoes Ate My... Well then, we should go, you interrupt Willow. You should go. It will totally get his attention. All the blood drains from Willow's face. I don't want his attention. Yes, you do. No. I mean, yes, but no. Willow sinks into a wooden library chair. Well, he likes you, you point out. You like him. You should go to his gig to show him that you like him. But what if he sees me there? Willow whispers. Then our evil plan would have worked, you tell her. Pardon me for intruding on this special moment, Xander says, but isn't Giles going to be at the bronze? Dating? On a date? Datarizing? He has a point. You bite your lip for a moment, imagining the dating behaviour of a mature British nerd. It's not something you really want to see up close and personal. On the other hand, it's a prime opportunity to get Willow out into the romantic world beyond Xander Harris. What should you do? Do we decide to go to the bronze, or blow off the bronze and go patrolling? The risk of permanent psychological damage from witnessing Giles' date is too great. So, should we stay or should we go? Yeah, are we going to the bronze or are we going patrolling? Cool. These are long sections for a Choose Your Own Adventure book. We have one vote for going to the bronze. That's another for the bronze. The cheek against us UK nerds. Looks like bronze has it, so we'll go to the bronze. And page 17. Okay. The bronze is packed. You make your way through the crowd and take a seat next to Willow and Xander. Cordelia is off slam dancing, with the emphasis on the slam. Although, slam dancing? So not the usual activity for perfect hair Cordy, who throws a tizzy if she breaks a nail. So not the activity of anyone who has chosen to enter this decade with their dignity intact. Cordelia's obviously lost it. Xander scoops up a handful of pretzels and shakes the empty bowl at a passing waitress. She grabs it on her way up to the bar. Xander doesn't check out her butt in that I'm not checking out a waitress's butt in front of my girl type friends way he usually does. But at least he's not checking out Cordelia's butt either. That note weirdness in the assembly this morning had you worried. Hey kids, Miss Bellicane sits down at your table like she's your bestest best friend. Excuse you. Why would any teacher type want to come to the bronze? It's bizarre. I ordered us some snacks, she says. Have the dingoes started to play yet? I want to show my support. Fist pump. Always with the fist pumps. Who told her that was okay? Willow tells her they should be on in a few minutes. You couldn't have answered if you wanted to. Not that you wanted to. You're still trying to get over the fact that a near teacher type is going all gal pal on you. The waitress comes back with a bowl full of pretzels and a plate of hamburgers and fries. Xander hoovers the pretzels before she has a chance to set them down on the table. Maybe he just wants his mouth full because he doesn't know what to say. You certainly don't. What topic is Miss Bellicane appropriate? How did you come up with your self-esteem program, you ask? Because you'd rather ask the questions and have her ask them. Who knows what she thinks is appropriate bronze convo, since she clearly has no appropriateness meter at all. I've always been interested in teenagers and the way they feel about themselves, Miss Bellicane says in her gravelly voice. So were you, low on the self-esteem when you were in high school? Willow asks. I hardly remember high school, Miss Bellicane admits. Blocked it out, huh? Xander asks through a bite of hamburger, if he can call half a burger bite. Which he will, just to be nice. Otherwise you'd have to call your friend Xander a big nasty hog boy. A piece of bun falls out of his mouth and onto the floor. He reaches down and pops it back into his maw. Xander, the 5-second rule is an at-home kind of rule. It's not really something that applies to public places with public shoes and other public nastiness, you tell him, even though it's too late because the piece of bun has already been swallowed. I think it's fine, Miss Bellicane murmurs, winking at Xander. She passes him some French fries. Then she gives a little squeal. There should be an age limit on squealing. And really, Miss Bellicane does not look like a squealer. She's too smooth and sleek and pulled together. You suspect the squealing is just her attempt to be down with today's teens. Oz, over here, Miss Bellicane calls, inviting him to the table of you, Willow and Xander. But she has to be forgiven in this case because of Willow and the joy that is sure to follow an Oz appearance. Hey, Oz says. Oz is pretty much a one-word response guy. But in his head, you suspect there are a lot more words going on. Which is good, because Willow also has a lot of brain with many words stored therein. But she's not using any of them right now. She's just kind of staring into space. Maybe it's her way of acting casual in front of the boy she likes. Oz grabs a burger. He takes off the bun. Then he breaks off a piece of meat, reaches across the table, and feeds it to Miss Bellicane. And she lets him. You have no words for the craziness. Cordelia, Xander, Oz, and this teacher lady, all crazy. Did you enter the bronze through the Bizarro door? So, there's different actions here. So, there would be an action if we came here with the intention to hang out with Will and Xander, but we're here to see Giles and Miss Bellicane on the date. So we go to page 213. Just move that. Xander, let's dance, you say. Anything to get away from the freakishness at your table. Even getting in the mosh pit with Cordelia. No thanks, Xander says. I'm eating. And he sure is. He's on his 3rd hamburger. Willow? You ask. Nah. She sounds bored. Oz is standing right next to her and she sounds bored. What's happened to your friends? Oh, I think dancing sounds like fun, Miss Bellicane says. Oz? Dance? Sure, as long as you don't think it'll make you too tired, he says. Thanks, I'll be fine. She gets up and heads out onto the floor. The music is some kind of trash metal, not especially danceable for anyone, and absolutely not danceable if you were grown up. Let's dance, Willow chirps, running after her. No thanks, Xander says. I'm eating. Didn't Willow just say she didn't want to dance? You ask Xander. Yep. But now she's dancing. Yep. You frown as you watch Miss Bellicane, who is now dancing in the middle of a circle of students. They're acting as if she's Julia Roberts or something. And she's not even such a great dancer. Look at her, you say. Xander does. She looks great, he says around a mouthful of fries. Your mouth drops open. Every single person you know has lost his or her mind. And it all seems to be about this one weird Ultimate You test lady. So what's the deal? Is she really that amazing and you're the only one who doesn't see it? Or are there darker forces at work? Xander, didn't you think Miss Bellicane was a freaky totalitarian weirdo earlier today? You ask. Yep. He chugs an entire glass of Coke in one gulp. Do you still think that? You ask. No, I think she's cool, he says. Why? Because she's cool. But what made you change your mind? You press him. My meeting with her after school. She was really cool. Finally. Talking to Xander isn't usually this much like talking to a 5-year-old. He's really acting weird. You met with her about the test results. What did she say? That I'm a teddy, he belches. You stare at him. Apparently he's done talking. What's a teddy? You ask when you can stand it no longer. It's an Ultimate You classification, he says. Mummies, teddies, smarties and peppies. There aren't a lot of teddies, but that's what I am. Your head hurts. Mummies are nurturing characters. Smarties are smart, peppies are aggressive, and teddies are agreeable, Xander says. They're the 4 main personality types. If you know which one you are, you can use that understanding to work to your own individual strength. That's how self-esteem's built. The thing is, he's not being sarcastic. That's what you really can't get over. He, Xander Harris, is sitting here telling you all this ridiculous stuff with a straight face. Is that what Miss Kane said to you in the meeting, you ask? Yep, word for word. Why am I not surprised, you ask? So let me guess, Cordelia's a peppy? Yep. Of course I am. Cordy bounces over from the dance floor to take a swig of water. Duh. When she's gone again, you stare at Xander. He's eating the garnish from the side of the hamburger plate. You're a teddy, and that means you're agreeable, you say. Yep, he agrees. And that's your strongest character trait? Yep. What are you supposed to do with that information, you ask? Nothing, just be the best Xander I can be. He grins. Hi, Giles. You swither your stool around to see Giles, who's just arrived. He's wearing a normal Giles sweater and normal Giles khakis and his normal Giles glasses. But his face? His face is abnormal, Giles. His face is not cringing at the loudness of the music. It's not frowning with disapproval at the rudeness of the students. It's not pinched with confusion at the idea of anyone willingly spending an evening in such a place. His face is smiling. Glowing, even. Hi, kids. What's up? He says, and you almost choke on your mineral water. He has never once called you kids before. He does not use the phrase, what's up? He sounds positively American tonight, and you don't like that one bit. Where's Miss Kane? She's dancing, you tell him. And I have to talk to you. We were supposed to have a training session today to talk about that leprechaun. Did you want to do that tomorrow instead? Yes, excellent, Giles says distractedly. Dancing. You're speechless. He didn't even correct you when you called the demon a leprechaun. It's official. Giles is 100% out of it. He scans the mosh pit for Miss Kane, and when he spots her, he wades right in to say hello. You almost grab him to pull him back. You need to talk to him about the Slanium demon. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, to be honest. And besides, you don't want him to get hurt by the moshers. But Giles is a big boy. Maybe it's time he learned the perils of the pit. Shockingly, he survives, even though kids are throwing themselves against him, and one another, the whole time he's in there. It's like he doesn't even notice them, or the music, or anything except Miss Kane. Okay, it's her. She's the weird one. Everyone else is being weird, not you. You're sure of it now. When Giles and Miss Kane return to the table, they're laughing and talking as though they've known each other for years. His arms around her waist. They were in a mosh pit. The craziness is never ending. About 20 kids from school crowd from around the table as they can't bear to be farther than 10 feet away from Miss Kane. I have to get back up there for the next set, Oz tells Queen Freaky. I think you should have one more bite of salad before Xander eats it all. Miss Kane giggles and lets Oz feed her a fork full of salad. Giles just smiles as if it's all normal, but it's so not. See you later, Oz heads towards the stage. You grab Willow's arm. Go talk to him, you whisper. Willow's brow furrows. Who? Oz, guitar boy. He's alone right now. Go tell him his band was great before. Willow glances at Oz. Nah, she says. Well, don't be nervous. He seems really nice. I'm not nervous, she replies. But she looks sad. Miss Kane gets up to go to the ladies' room. About 15 girls offer to go with her, but she shakes her head. We're here to support Oz and his band, she says. How would he feel if we all left in the middle of a song? His self-esteem would get lower, Cordelia answers. That's right, and I can't have that now, can I? Everyone laughs as if Miss Kane had just told the world's most hilarious knock-knock joke. Don't be long, Giles murmurs. He takes her long, thin hand and kisses it. Miss Kane gives him a slow smile and runs one finger down his cheek. It's like a bad romance movie. And how dare he act all lovey-dovey when he totally likes Jelly Calendar? She's supposed to be his new girlfriend, not crazy test lady. You're so relieved when she finally heads for the bathroom. Giles, seriously, we need to talk, you say. Certainly, Buffy, go right ahead, he replies. No, we need to talk supernatural weirdness that's not appropriate for public consumption, you say quietly. Can we leave now? Of course not. He seems offended by the idea. I'm on a date. He doesn't want to talk supernatural weirdness. You guess there's a first time for everything. You sigh. What now? Miss Bellakane's in the bathroom. It's the first time you've seen her alone all night. Maybe you should go after her and get to the bottom of all this weirdness. But all you really want to do is get out of here. This Miss Bellakane's scented party at the Bronze is no fun at all. And if you're going to be dealing with the supernatural Sands Watcher, you're going to need your sleep. What should you do? Do you decide to follow Miss Bellakane into the bathroom, or do we go and find Angel? He can't be under Miss Bellakane's spell too. So are we following Miss Bellakane? Are we finding Angel? Find Angel, find Angel, find Angel, find Angel, find Angel. Okay, I think that's pretty unanimous. Let's get Angel involved, shall we? Well, it's all Angel so far, so we're going with Angel. So, 221. Okay. I mean, ooh, right? You ask Angel. You kick your heels against the gravestone you're sitting on as you tell him the tale of Giles and she who likes ants. Would you really want to kiss someone who gets off on bugs? Maybe he's not planning to kiss her, Angel says. He leans in for a kiss of his own, but you're distracted. You've been patrolling for an hour. Well, hanging with Angel for half an hour and patrolling for the half hour before that. But you still can't get the image of flirty Giles out of your head. How can he do this when he totally likes Miss Calendar, you ask. That doesn't sound like Giles, does it? Angel runs his hand through his hair. No. He's frustrated, you can tell. He wants to be making out. And normally you'd want that too. You need to shake off the worry and pay attention to what matters. Your gorgeous, sweet, and undead boyfriend. You take his hand and hop down from the gravestone. Let's take a walk, you suggest. He strolls along next to you, the two of you picking your way through the cemetery. You're worried about Giles, Angel says. I guess I am, you admit. He just wasn't acting like himself. But you've never seen him when he's dating someone, Angel pointed out. Maybe this is how he acts. All inconsiderate and rude to Jenny Calendar? It's possible, Angel says. He met this Miss Bellakane, he was attracted to her, and he acted on it. It's not like he and Miss Calendar are a couple or anything. You're right. He's right. You know he's right. You try to ignore your concern for Giles and turn to look up at your boyfriend. You wouldn't do that, would you? Meet somebody new and drop me with no warning? No. He stops walking and pulls you into his arms. Because I'm in love with you. It's a completely different situation. He kisses you and all your worry melts away. You're lost in the beauty that's Angel. Light falls across your faces. Blindingly bright. You ignore it and keep kissing Angel. But when the odd cracking, snapping, whooshing sound comes, you know you have to check it out. You pull away from Angel and glance over at the light. It's white and pulsing and generally otherworldish, which means bad. The otherworldish is never good. And the sound keeps coming, right up until the giant golden slide appears. As soon as the bottom of the slide hits the ground, the whooshing sound stops. You glance at Angel. Is that a playground slide? He asks. For a giant, you reply. And then, unfortunately, the giant appears. He's 8 feet tall, with orangey red hair and rosy cheeks. He's dressed entirely in a green velvet suit, top hat and everything. He swoops down the golden slide straight towards you and you get the strangest sense of deja vu. Oh my god! It's the leprechaun from my dream! You cry. There are no such things as leprechauns, Angel replies. That's a Slaninum demon. You roll your eyes. You say tomato. Duck! Angel snaps. You crouch down just as a humongous black mallet whizzes through the air right where your head was a split second ago. Angel punches the green giant in the chest. The Slaninum demon barely budges. The chest, you ask. It's as high as I can reach, Angel retorts. He's really tall. The mallet whizzes by again. You both jump out of the way, and you take the opportunity to get a good look at the Slaninum demon. Like the Lucky Charms guy on serious steroids, until he turns his twinkly blue eyes on you. And they are indeed twinkling, with pure hatred. His chubby face twists in a snarl and he swings the giant mallet again. What is with you? You cry. What do you want? The Slaninum snarls again, then gestures with his hand. Another burst of white light fills the air. The whooshing sound starts up again, and another golden slide appears. The demon gives you one last glare, then leaps onto the slide like an overgrown toddler. What is happening, guys? He slides into the light and vanishes. The light vanishes with him. Whoa, you say. Slaninum's jump through dimensions, Angel tells you. Is he coming back? The whooshing sound starts up again, and light fills the darkness. I'd say that's a yes, Angel says. You get him, I'll get the mallet, you tell him. He nods. This time you're ready. When the golden slide hits the ground, the demon appears feet first. Angel grabs his ankles and pulls with all his strength. The Slaninum demon skids off the slide and lands on his butt, which would be funny if he wasn't so scary looking with his cheerful suit and his serial killer eyes. You ignore everything else and go straight for the mallet. You grab the wooden handle and tug. It doesn't move. Angel jumps on top of the demon and jabs the elbow into the Slaninum's throat. You yank on the mallet again. The Slaninum's fighting to get air. He's not holding onto the weapon that tightly. What is this thing made of? You mutter, pulling as hard as you can. Finally the mallet pops from the demon's hand and you fall backward with the heavy weapon. The demon makes a hand gesture and another slide appears. He brings his knee up and jabs it into Angel's stomach. Angel rolls off him, doubled over. The Slaninum, gasping for air, crawls onto the slide and disappears. You and Angel stare into the darkness for a minute. Looks like he's sliding somewhere else, Angel says. I think we're safe. He's really strong. And this mallet seems to be made of lead. I can barely lift it. Good thing you got away from him then, Angel says with a weak smile. Because he can obviously lift it. Yeah, and swing it and smash it with things. Angel shrugs. They're unpredictable demons. I've only met one. All he wanted to do was beat people up and then kill them. You're appalled. Leprechauns are supposed to be charming and cute and, you know, quirky, you say. They're all about rainbows and pots of gold in Ireland. He's from another dimension, not Ireland, Angel replies. You sigh. I was so busy thinking about Giles that I forgot to be on the lookout for the leprechaun. Slaninum demon. Right. I should have killed that thing and instead I let him get away. You turn toward the cemetery exit, and I bet Giles won't even care. Then next, we turn to page 27. I always wonder how people actually make these. I always find it bizarre, how you can put it all together. That is kind of funny. I do have little antlers. You're right. Oh, Joyce. Oh, Buffy, you're home. Your mum calls you as you come through the door. You've got to see this. You drag yourself into the living room and sit on the edge of the sofa. Your mother is watching Letterman. Letterman's watching a pug dog. The dog's crying. This day has been too strange. You don't want to see dogs singing and crying. Doesn't it sound exactly like it's saying I love you? Your mum asks. I was flipping toward the Discovery Channel and I had to stop. The dog cries again. It does sound freakishly like it's saying I love you, but you've had enough of the freakish for one day, and the forecast for tomorrow is many more inches of freakishness. I'm going to go night-night. You kiss the top of your mother's head. You manage to make it up the stairs and into your pyjamas. No dreams, you order yourself as you climb under the covers. You want 8 hours of nice and normal before the lunacy starts again. Your weather forecast was wrong. You didn't get inches of freak today. You got a freak storm, with possibly a tidal wave with a freaky on the way. You survey the scene around the lovely green lawn outside Sunnydale High. Xander's having a picnic. A picnic without a blanket, or a basket, or paper plates, or plastic silverware, or other people. His picnic consists of paper bags full of food, and him, and his 2 hands. The school's most notable burnout, and this girl who you're pretty sure is the head of the Junior Achievers Club. There was an awards assembly that you think was for her and some sort of record she broke, but you were really sleepy that day, so maybe it was someone else. Are sitting close together on a nearby bench. Harmony's doing gymnastics on the grass. You notice she has a black eye, which she hasn't even attempted to cover up with concealer. A sign of the apocalypse if ever you saw one, and you've seen many. Dave Ryder, who only shows up to your history class a couple of times a week, sits in front of the vending machine near the cafeteria door. As far as you can tell, he thinks it's a slot machine. He's just camped out there, pumping in quarters one after the other, and eating the candy as fast as it comes out. Brian Williams, in his beloved Debaters Do It Faster t-shirt, heads over to the machine. He peers through the glass, then a flush creeps up his neck and onto his face. "You ate the last Mars bar," he yells. Dave doesn't even look up from playing the candy slots. He just keeps feeding his machine the quarters like any minute it's going to spew all the candy it has left. "Dave, I asked you if you ate the last Mars bar." Brian grabs Candy Lover Dave by the hair and smashes his head onto the machine. The glass cracks and blood drips down Dave's head. He seems to notice Brian for the first time. "Do you want a Mars bar?" "Yes!" Brian cries. Dave starts making retching noises if he's going to uke. Oh, you can't believe him. He's making jokes when Brian just shoved his head through a glass plate. You run across the grass to them. You jerk Dave out of the way and shove Brian against the candy machine. "We do not bash people's heads in because they have eaten a candy bar we want," you explain to him. "Now, are you going to go away, or I'm going to have to put you inside the candy machine for a timeout?" Brian glares at you. Then he turns and walks away. "He just wanted a Mars bar," Dave says mildly. He slides up in front of the machine again. "It's broken," you tell him. He sticks in more quarters anyway. No candy falls into the tray. Dave stares at the empty tray for a moment. Then he presses his hand against the cracked glass until it breaks. He pulls a candy bar free and eats it with his bleeding fingers. "You want some candy?" he asks. No thanks," you say, retreating. Dave's turned out to be more of a chocoholic than you expected. You wonder where Willow is. You really need to see Willow right now. You could use an assist. If Willow is still Willowish, because nobody else is acting like themselves today. Cordelia walks by with Emily Islin from the Young Businesswoman Club. They're talking about kickboxing. But do they even know each other? You hear someone crying behind you. You turn around. It's Oz. "What's wrong?" you exclaim. He holds out his hand and you see a baby bird. Very baby. It looks almost embryonic, all thin skin and veins. Gently you touch its head. "I don't know if there's anything we can do for it, Oz. It's just too young." Oz gives a choked sob. "But I'm a mummy. It's my job. I can't let it die. It's my job to keep it safe and warm until it can take care of itself. I'm a mummy." There's no proper response to a wild-haired musician telling you he's a bad mother, you find. A shriek comes across from the lawn. Harmony, Cordy and Emily are raising Amy Madison up the flagpole. You look at Oz's devastated face. Then you catch sight of Xander. He's choking on what looks like half a bag of marshmallows that he's crammed into his mouth all at once. "Oz, I'll be back as soon as I can." You dash towards Xander, trying to remember the Heimlich maneuver. "Hang on, Amy," you shout over your shoulder. "You're next." Okay, then we had 2 other options, but this was if Angel was acting weird, we turn to a different page, but Giles was acting weird yesterday, so we turn to 232. By the end of the day, you're exhausted. You've been putting out fires for hours, sometimes literally. "Buff, wait up!" You stop and turn around at the sound of Xander's voice. It's definitely his voice, you'd know it anywhere. But the guy walking, lumbering towards you, is definitely not Xander. This guy weighs at least 300 pounds and is all in his stomach. Normal Xander legs, normal Xander arms, normal Xander face, and humongous Xander chest and belly. "Hey!" He waves at you with a piece of the cookie he's eating. "What's up?" You close your mouth, which you suddenly realise is hanging open. "Cookie?" Xander holds out a bag of mini chocolate chips. Xander, have you looked in a mirror lately? You ask. No. Why? Because you've gained 100 pounds since lunchtime. You wait for the freak out. Xander glances down at his stomach. I did have a big lunch, he agrees. That's it. That's his only reaction. Maybe he didn't understand you. No, Xan, I'm not talking about a bloated stomach. Well, I mean, I am talking about a bloated stomach, but not an I ate too much pasta and I feel fat stomach. I'm talking about, well, a supernaturally fat stomach. Xander thinks about it as he downs another cookie. Nah, he finally says. Thank all that's holy, Willow appears behind him. She'll back you up in your quest to make Xander freak. Will, you call. Get over here. Xander's reacting inappropriately. I resent that, Xander remarks. Willow heads over looking distracted. Xander reacts to everything inappropriately, Xander says. Can I go now? I resent that too, Xander says mildly. He pulls another bag of cookies from his backpack and rips it open. Cookies? He offers the bag around. Oh, why not? You grab a handful. So does Willow. Will, you say, have you noticed Xander's stomach? Willow glances at his stomach. It's big, she says. Big, you cry. It's huge. It's monstrous. It's an evil supernatural stomach. Nobody gets fat that fast. Whatever. Willow hitches her backpack up on her shoulders. I really have to go. Miss Bellakane's waiting for me. Uh-oh. Miss Bellakane? Why, you ask? Oh, didn't I tell you? I'm helping her with the design project. It's because I'm so smart. Only smarties are allowed on the design team. Willow says this without an ounce of self-consciousness or irony. She's obviously not herself. What are you designing? You ask. She shrugs. You won't understand. Anyway, later. She takes off, munching her cookies. Want more? Xander holds out the bag. As he moves, his shirt rides up over his stomach, and you can see through it. Not exactly through it, actually, more like into it. His skin's turned into a sort of amber-coloured shell, and inside, well, it's too disgusting to look at. You turn away. Xander shakes the cookie bag towards you with a smile. No, Xan, come with me, you tell him. We have to figure out what happened to you. Okay. He follows you down the hall and into the library. Giles, you yell. No answer. But the light is on in the little cage of valuable books. You know he's there. Don't move, you tell Xander. Okay, he says. You run down to Giles's cage and find him flossing his teeth in a mirror stuck on one of the metal slats. Oh, gross, you cry. This day? She's filled with way too much grossness. Giles, stop that, we have a situation. Can't, he says around the dental floss. Have a date. With Jenny Calendar? You ask hopefully. No. He pulls a long string through his two front teeth. Miss Bellakane. As if you didn't know that. Why is this Bellakane person so involved in all the things Sunnydale High when she's only been here for a day? Usually it takes at least a week to get popular. And if you're a teacher or administrator or whatever she was, it took... Well, those people never got popular. Giles, Xander's become hugely fat and his stomach is see-through, and he doesn't care, and even Willow doesn't care. Something's going on. Giles finishes flossing and turns a huge smile to you. How do I look? He asks between his clenched teeth. Frightening, you tell him. Now focus. Check out Xander's new physique. You take him by the arm and drag him out of the cage so you can see Xander. He was now eating cheese doodles. See? He's gigantic. He's an NFL player. Yes, well, good for him, Giles says. I really must toddle along now, Buffy, so if there's nothing else... Toddle along? Did he actually just say that? You think about it. Is that strange for Giles? You can't be sure. Giles, we have to figure out what happened to Xander, you tell him. Your date can't start this early, it's barely 4:30. I'm going to get a haircut first, Giles reports. He sounds like an excited 13-year-old girl. I want to look perfect, and then we're having an early dinner at my place. It's hopeless. Fine. Go, you mutter. Doodles? Xander asks, holding out the bag as Giles walks past. No thanks, I just flossed, Giles says. He gives Xander the terrifying smile. Okay, Xander replies. You stare at him as Giles leaves. Xander seems normal in every way. Well, every way except for the humongous stomach with a view. But something's off. Something's non-Xander. Zan, I think we should set your house on fire, you say. Okay, Xander replies. No. Maybe we should hang out with Spike and Drusilla instead, you suggest. Okay, Xander says. Or how about you go make out with Cordelia? Okay, Xander says again. That's it. He's agreeing with everything. Xander's usually the more the complain and or make with the sarcasm type, not the agree with insane ideas type. But right now he's all about two things, eating and agreeing. So what should you do? Do we ask Xander to tell you what he knows about the current weirdness, or do we go patrolling and try to figure out the sitch on your own? Do we ask Xander? Do we go patrolling? Patrol. Ask Xander, patrol. It's even Stevens at the minute. Patrol. Patrol. Okay, patrol just clinched that one. So 168. Wow, I opened on 168. I'm amazing. Okay. You know, Xander, I gotta go, you say. There's something beyond weird going on. Plus, with the stomach on you and Giles turning into Mr. Romance, the ick factor has gone through the roof. Okay, he says. You kind of want to smack him. Doesn't he know any of the words? But his sweet Xander face is still as comforting as ever. You have to save him from whatever's taken over his digestive system. I'm going to patrol. Maybe. Maybe what? What are you going to do? Without Giles and Willow, who are the plan makers? You're just a plain slayer. I guess I'm gonna, just look around and see what I can find. You stay here. Okay, Xander says. Okay. You give him a pat on the shoulder and take off. You have a feeling that no matter what he said, Xander won't stay in the library until you get back. He's not thinking for himself anymore. That much is obvious. Outside the school, a few guys from the wrestling team are standing around. They stare at you as you walk by, but none of them move. Weird. It almost looked like they were standing guard or something. But who would want to guard the school? You file it away for future discussion with someone non-Willow and non-Giles. Eventually you'll find somebody to help you figure this out. And why wait? Angel will be normal, and even if he can't come out patrolling until dark, he can still talk things through with you now. You decide to head over to his apartment. 5 feet later, you're lying on your back with a giant black-gloved fist whizzing at your head. You roll to the side as it smashes down and leap to your feet, grabbing the large mallet that's fallen next to you as you do. The Slynanum demon stands behind you with a friendly grin on his face and a malicious look in his eyes. Where did you come from? You mutter. A hell dimension filled with girls like you being grazed and eaten like cows, he says with a snarl. Good times. I didn't see your little slide appear, you say. Maybe you should pay better attention. He swings again. You jump aside. I want my mallet back, he snarls. Let me think about it. No, you say. What is that thing made of anyway? Nothing you can break, Slayer, the Slynanum spits. And when I get it back, I'll use it to break you. He swings at you again. You duck the blow and punch him in the gut. He bends a tiny bit, letting out the slightest oof, but that's the best you can do. He's strong, he's tall, and he's dangerous. You glance up, spot a low-hanging tree limb and jump for it. You catch the limb just in time to snap your legs out and kick him in his jolly face. His head snaps back and his eyes fill with fury. He gestures with his hand and the light side combo appears. He jumps through and disappears into the light. Good. You have no time for him right now. You have to get to Angel and figure out how to help Xander. And maybe Willow, who's also off for a rocker. You take off down the street and get to the end of the block before the golden slide appears again. This time the Slynanum comes out fist first, swinging before his black-booted feet even hit the sidewalk. You jump the blow and kick him in the chest on the way, He falls back onto his side and vanishes. You run toward Angel. The golden slide shows up again within half a minute. When the Slidingham's feet come through, you grab an ankle and twist. He falls face first onto the pavement. Immediately he rolls, taking you down with him. Give me the mallet, missy, the Slidingham sneers. No little weakling like you can handle a weapon like mine. You roll again, ending up on top of him. You get him in a headlock as he tries to stand, but he grabs your arms and flips you over his head. By the time you're back on your feet, he's swinging at you again. You roll your eyes as you duck. Again. Don't you ever get tired of that? You ask. Do you ever get tired of fighting? He retorts. It's all you're good for, Slayer. You run up the back of a car parked along the road and jump him from above, sliding your arm around his neck and holding on. How do you know who I am if you're from some other dimension? You ask as you try to strangle him. His neck is so thick he doesn't seem to care. I heard about you through the grapevine, he says. I guess I must be important to have you all to myself like this. Typical demon, you say, having delusions of grandeur. Well, you're fighting me, aren't you? He cackles as he digs his big ruddy fingers into your forearm, which is still pressed tight against his throat. You're not off stopping the Ant Queen. You let go of him so suddenly that he falls to the ground. You leap onto his chest and press your knee against his windpipe. What Ant Queen? You ask. You have a horrible suspicion you already know. Kane. Word on the street says she knows she's about to turn your town into her own personal ant farm. His words come in short gasps as you press on his neck. Look, Lucky. I know Miss Kane, you say, and she's no ant. He gives a gasp of laughter. Maybe not in front of you, he says, but once she's finished mating, you'll see more ants in a company picnic. Mating? She mates? Mates, lays, hatches, breeds an army, eats the populace, the Slidingham says, and gives another wheezing laugh. Too bad you won't be around to save them. His fingers reach for your throat. You leap off him just before he reaches you. Who is she mating with? How should I know? He stomps towards you with his giant gold-buckled boots. But you just turn and run. Miss Kane's an ant, or a demon, or both. And she's mating. And she's going on a date with Giles any second. You've got to get to him now. Giles, you yell, racing towards the courtyard outside his apartment. Giles, you have to stop dating Miss Kane. Don't go out with her. But you shut up as soon as you see her. Miss Kane in another suit with a pair of stiletto pumps on her feet. Her dark hair slicked back into a French twist. Huge black sunglasses covering her eyes. And she's smiling. She leaves Giles' apartment, pulling the door closed behind her. You watch as she click-clacks across the courtyard and climbs into the back of a black town car waiting at the curb. Has she mated with Giles? You can't bear to think about it. You're not even sure what it means for a demon ant queen. But one thing's for sure, it can't be good for Giles. Still, now you know Kane's a demon, you have to find out what her big plan is so that you can stop her. The car carrying Kane pulls away from the curb. You're going to have to follow her the hard way, running. It's a good thing that you've got that Slayer strength, because whoever's driving has no interest in following the speed limit, or stopping at red lights or stop signs for that matter. You sprint after the car, hoping she's not headed too far away. And you're in luck, because the car goes straight to school and drives right out onto the football field. Snyder's not going to like that, you mutter, following the muddy tyre tracks through the pristine grass of the field. The car stops in the middle of the field. You hang back to see what she's going to do, but before Kane even opens the car door, people begin appearing from holes in the ground. All over the field, kids from school climb from the earth and rush towards the car. Oz and Chris Pearson appear from a hole. Steve Gurley follows Willow out of the main hole, so does Xander. Soon there's a crowd of people around the car, at least 50 of them. What are you doing here, Buffy? You turn at the sound of Cordelia's voice. She stands in front of you, backed by Harmony and Emily from the Young Businesswoman Club. They're all staring at you through narrowed eyes, and there's something weird about their mouths. I'm just out for a walk, you say. The way Cordy's looking at you, you're guessing she's not in the mood to hear the truth about Kane. Walk the other way, she commands. But over her shoulder you see the car door open. Kane's high-heeled shoes step out. The people surrounding the car all cheer and reach out to touch her. I have to talk to Miss Kane, you say, pushing past Cordy. No. Cordelia opens her mouth and suddenly you see what was so weird about it. Her bottom jaw drops about 6 inches straight down, revealing 2 long curved black teeth, or pincers. You're not really sure they can be called teeth. Harmony and Emily move in on you too, revealing their own disgusting fang things. Behind them, you can see Kane heading into the main hole in the ground, followed by Xander and all the others. You know you should follow her in there and get rid of her, but it's obvious that Cordelia and her cohorts, not to mention your friends, are under some kind of mind control. You'll have to fight Cordy and the other guards to get into the hole, and you'll probably have to fight your own best friends to get to Kane. It's not worth it. You still have to make sure Giles is okay, and you'll need help to get into the lair. You do as Cordy says and walk the other way, straight back towards Giles' place. Giles is lying on the living room rug when you get inside his apartment. One of the end tables lies on the floor next to him. "Giles!" you cry, rushing over to your watcher. He's barely conscious. His eyes look glazed. You glance around the room. Other than the end table, everything seems normal. "What happened?" you ask him. "Buffy," he croaks. There's a weird smile on his face. "Yes, I'm here. Tell me what happened to you." Kane, she did this to you," you demand. "She put her hands on my head." Giles' dreamy smile widens. "Her hands were warm." His eyes closed. "No, Giles, stay with me. Did she..." You break off. You're not sure you can bring yourself to ask him this. Did you mate?" Her hands were warm. It felt like melting. You'll take that as a yes. And, for the record, yuck. But why is Giles so out of it? "Did she push you down?" you ask. "Why is the end table on the floor? Why are you on the floor?" "I fell," he says. His voice is barely more than a whisper. "I felt so weak." "Why?" But Giles is unconscious. You tug him up onto the couch and cover him with a throw. What else could you do? Giles is supposed to tell you what to do in situations like this. Or Willow. She'd know how to handle it. But Willow is off living in a hole with Kane. So's Xander and Cordy and any chance you have of getting help. Angel. You grab the phone and call your boyfriend. When he answers, you're almost ready to cry with relief. "I need help," you say. Kane's an ant queen and she mated with Giles and he's passed out and Willow and Xander and Cordelia are all like ant minions or something and I don't know what to do. Okay. Angel sounds like he just woke up, which he probably did, it being the middle of the afternoon and him being a creature of the night and all. "What do you want me to do?" "Come to Giles's and help me figure this out." "I'll get there as soon as I can. It might take a while." You wince. You'd forgotten the whole can't go outside until dark complication. "Hurry," you tell him. When you hang up the phone, you're alone again. Giles is still unconscious. You have an ant demon lady on your hands and she's taken over all your friends. What to do? You force yourself to think. Normally when a baddie shows up in Sunnydale, Giles tells you all about them. Agenda, strengths, weaknesses, likes and dislikes. And when he doesn't know much about them, he and Willow do research. "Research," you cry. "That's what you need. You need to find out as much about Kane as you can, so you'll know how to kill her. And she'll know while Giles is lying on the couch white as a ghost." You take a closer look at your watcher. Is he even breathing? Yes, but his respiration is shallow. His skin's even paler than usual, and that's saying something. He's really sick. Should you take him to a hospital before you do research? "This is what grown-ups are for," you mutter. How are you supposed to know whether he needs a doctor or not? And then it comes to you like a lightning bolt. You should call Jelly Calendar. She's a grown-up. She's down with the supernatural, and she probably hates Giles right now. Still, Jenny's your best hope of getting some help. You grab the phone and beg her to come over. By the time Jenny arrives, Giles has curled into the fetal position. That doesn't stop Jenny from being pissed at him. "Thank you so much for coming. I totally need your help," you say in a rush. "You said there was a demon," Jenny replies. "At school?" Jenny lifts an eyebrow. "And what happened to him?" She doesn't even look at Giles. I think he mated with her." You glance around the room, trying to avoid eye contact with Jenny. "All I know is that she was planning to mate today, and she came here and touched Giles's face, and she left all happy, and he collapsed." You finally meet Jenny's eyes. "Sorry." "Why should you be sorry? It was his choice." I think maybe Miss Kane put the whammy on him, you explain. Everybody else is working for her. It's like they don't even care that she's an ant. Excuse me? Oh, didn't I tell you? Apparently Kane's an ant queen. I mean, I've never seen her go all anty, but she's an ant queen. And she's building a colony. Jenny's already scanning Giles' bookshelves, running her finger along the crackled leather spines of the demonology tomes. I don't know which book to look in, you say. I don't know where to start. I'm thinking Africa, Jenny murmurs, pulling out a huge book. They have some ant-based legends. Before you know it, she's got you sitting at the kitchen table with about 4 giant books. You flip through them, searching for any mention of ant-like demons while Jenny feels Giles' pulse. She doesn't say anything, but you can tell she's worried. Angel arrives around 6:30, and you still haven't found any ants. He joins in the book flipping while Jenny makes with the computer research. Gotcha, she finally says. She blows her dark hair up off her forehead in frustration. I knew that test was a bad idea. Be the ultimate you? You ask. Kane must have used it to isolate certain personality traits, Jenny says. Aggression, nurturing, organisation, people to build her a colony, guard it, and take care of the brood. It's true, you say. Willow helped build this huge underground layer and Cordelia's patrolling the outside like a Rottweiler. Cordelia? Angel asks skeptically. Yeah, and Harmony, and everyone from the bait team and about half of the drama club, you tell him. It's not pretty. Those are the kids who tested strongest for aggression, Jenny says. The Peppies, you agree. It's like they're all brainwashed or something, and some of them are growing ant appendages. Jenny wrinkles her nose. Like a normal ant, Kane can secrete chemicals, probably a sort of pheromone to help her communicate and control the students she chose for her various jobs. The chemicals must be causing some of the kids to mutate. Hey, why does Xander have a huge stomach, you ask? He's not aggressive or nurturing or anything, he's just agreeable. Huh, Jenny frowns. Maybe he's a honeypot. Well, he is being really nice, you say. Has he been vomiting? Jenny asks. Honeypot ants store food for the others in their nests. Whenever an ant's hungry, the honeypot regurgitates food for them. Can we change the subject, please? Angel says. What does this ant queen want? Jenny reads from the webpage she's found. A new colony is started by the queen, who mates only once and lays enough eggs to create an entire generation of worker ants. Hard to believe that test lady can lay eggs, Angel says. Uh-oh, Jenny says, still reading. No, you protest. No uh-ohs. This is bad. Jenny shoots a worried look at Giles. The mating process seems to involve some sort of sucking. I do not want to hear this, you say. Sucking of life force, Jenny finishes, shooting you a disapproving look. The mating leaves the male nearly dead, and he usually does die within a day. His life force has been almost completely drained. You just stare at her for a moment, trying to wrap your mind around this. You mean Giles is going to die? You finally whisper. Yes, unless we do something fast. How can we get his life force back? Angel asks. Jenny stares at the computer for a while. There's no definite answer, but it's likely that if we kill Kane, the life force she absorbed will flow back to Rupert. Good. You grab your jacket and head for the door. I'll go kill her. Angel grabs your arm. How are you planning to do that? He asks. You picture Kane's lair. A hole in the ground filled with your classmates. Your friends. Kane's colony is heavily guarded, you say with a groan. I can't get in without fighting half the kids in school. And if Kane's conditioned them somehow, they may well fight you to the death, Jenny says. We have to find a way in that doesn't involve you killing half the student body. You stare at the huge mallet you took from the Slinium demon and give it to Giles for safekeeping. I bet that leprechaun could jump right inside the lair, you say. Leprechaun? Jenny asks. He's a Slinium demon, Angel tells her. How's a dimension-hopping psychopath going to help us? I took his favourite toy, you say. Maybe I can make a deal with him. He jumps me into the lair, I give his mallet back. And then you're trapped in a demon's lair with 2 demons, Angel says. Okay, then I won't give him the mallet until he helps me kill Kane, you say. I have a better idea, Jenny puts in. If Kane is using a chemical secretion to control the other kids, maybe we can make something similar in the lab. The way regular ants work, all the ants from a colony share the same scent. That's how they recognise one another. If you were with one of your own, or if you smell like one of your own, Their guards will let you walk right in. They'll smell me? You ask. What if we don't get the chemical right? Angel asks. Buffy will be trapped in the middle of an entire nest of ant-controlled guards. Well, it's either that or deal with the Sliningham demon, Jenny says. What's it going to be? Do we decide to use the pheromone or make a deal with the Sliningham demon? Get your votes in. Pheromone or demon? Meanwhile, I need to send a message. Demon. Demon. Lucky charm. Demon. Pheromone. Looks like the demon has it. So yeah, let's make a deal with the demon. Turn to page 191. I vote for the Sliningham demon, you say. I've got to kill him anyway. Might as well take care of them both at once. Fine. How do we get him here? Angel asks. I can do a spell to summon him, Jenny says. She grabs one of Giles' books and leaps through it until she finds what she wants. Get me a green candle. I don't think Giles has... In the linen closet, Jenny interrupts. You run up to the linen closet. Sure enough, Giles has an array of candles in every colour tucked neatly into a wooden box on the bottom shelf. Who knew? When you get back downstairs, Jenny's made a chalk circle on the coffee table. She puts the green candle in the centre, mutters something under her breath. You can't be sure, but it sounds like pig Latin, and lights the candle. Instantly a white light fills the room. The whooshing sound is deafening. And then the golden slide appears. The Sliningham slides in and lands on Giles' welcome mat. What? He growls. Then he spots you. He lunges before his slide is even gone. You kick him in the stomach mid-lunge and he topples backward. Listen up, you say. I want to make a deal. He swings at you. You duck under his fist. Where's my mallet? He growls. You mean this mallet? Angel hefts it into the air. Which is impressive because the thing weighs nearly 80 pounds. The Sliningham leaps for it. You use his momentum against him, jumping onto his back and bringing him down. You want the mallet back? Then use your little slide to jump me into Bella Kane's lair, you say. I want her dead. I want you dead, the Sliningham retorts. He gets to his feet, shaking you off like a pesky fly. Fine, you can kill me later, you tell him, but first you have to take me to Bella Kane. Then open a portal to some kind of bad place. A hell dimension, one that will kill her. Great. It's a deal. Give me my mallet. The Sliningham makes a grab for it, but Angel jerks it away. He's in full-on vamp mode now, and he looks pretty scary. Angel will stay here with your precious mallet, you say. Then after Bella Kane's dead, you and I jump back here and you can have the mallet. Not before then. He sneers at you, but he gestures with his hand and a portal appears, complete with a golden slide. Let's get this over with, he mutters. He grabs your arm and yanks you into the slide with him. Before you know it, Angel, Jenny and Giles' whole apartment has vanished. There's nothing but white light in the golden slide. It's actually kind of fun, for about 3/10 of a second. Then you notice the other end of the slide is shrouded in darkness. You fall off the end into a muddy hallway. Willow and Andrew Wells look at you in surprise, their claw-like hands filthy from digging. Wrong place, you tell the Sliningham. I need to get to Bella Kane herself. No going through her guards or any of these other people. He rolls his eyes and opens another portal. The two of you slide through it and land in a different dirt-filled room. This one also has mounds of round, slimy things piled on the floor. Oz and Chris Pearson jump in front of the slimy things when you appear. You've never seen Oz look so mean before. Stay away, he yells. You do a quick scan of the big round room. No Bella Kane, you tell the Sliningham. Can't you demons sense one another's presence or something? We're not related, he snaps. He opens another portal. You slide through. This time the end of the slide is surrounded by light. When you get through, you're in a well-lit room filled with new furniture. It can't be the right place. But the walls, floor and ceiling are made of dirt, and Miss Bellicane is lounging on one of the couches. This is it, you cry. Open a portal to the hell dimension. Miss Bellicane jumps off the couch. Her dark eyes widen. Literally. The eyes grow further apart as her nose moves forward, turning a dark brown colour. Antennae shoot straight up her head. Her arms lengthen, becoming segmented black legs. Her abdomen extends into a huge swollen poison sac with a stinger on one end. You stare at her. The sleek black woman in the suit is gone. Bellicane is a humongous black ant. Quick, you tell the Sliningham, before she summons her guards. The Sliningham demon gestures with his hand, and the white light appears. A second later the golden slide slams into the ground. If you stare into the light you can see the slide disappearing into darkness. A strange sucking sound comes from the darkness. What is that? You ask. A vortex, the Sliningham snarls. The entire dimension is one big vacuum. Cool, you say. And yikes. Bellicane leaps at you, jaws open wide. As the teeth come closer, you can see that each one is barbed and viciously sharp mini fangs. You let her get 2 inches away from you and shove with all your strength. Off balance, she stumbles backward. You shove again, getting her giant abdomen onto the end of the golden slide. The vortex takes you from there. Squealing in anger, her antennae waving about wildly, Bellicane is pulled into the portal. The Sliningham laughs, until she snaps her teeth one last time, latching onto his leg. He's sucked into the vortex with her. The last time you see him, Bellicane is biting into his head. And then they're gone. The golden slide vanishes, trapping both of your enemies in the giant vacuum. They're dead. You're alone in the over-decorated dirt room. You grab your cell phone, wondering if it will work in the below ground. Nope. You take off running through the muddy hallways. You have to get to the surface and make sure Giles is okay now. Kids from school wander around Bellicane's lair looking confused. Buffy! Willow cries as you speed past her. You dig your heels into the dirt and stop. Will, are you back to normal? She frowns. If you mean am I no longer interested in digging tunnels with my bare hands, then yes. Show me your hands, you order her. She does. They're nice, normal, mud-covered willowed hands. No more claws. Hey, do you guys know what happened? Asks Andrew Wells. You try to think of a plausible excuse for the whole demon ant layer under the football field situation, but all you can come up with is mind control experiment. Andrew's rat-like face lights up. Cool. So that whole test thing was bogus. I knew it. I can't believe he was a smarty, Willow murmurs. I can't believe you were a worker ant, you tell her. Xander appears round the corner. He's back to his normal size. Thank God you guys are here. Do you have any idea what I've been doing? Unfortunately, yes, you tell him. I feel sick, Xander says. How do we get out of this place? Don't you know? You ask. You turn to Willow. You built the whole thing. Where's the exit? It's weird, she says. The whole Bellicane thing is starting to feel like a dream or something. Miss Calendar said Bellicane squirted you all with some kind of personality control communications pheromones or something. Well, the drugs must be wearing off because all I remember is a haze of disgustingness, Xander says. Let's get everyone out before we're all trapped here, you say. You hand Willow your little flashlight. You have the best chance of remembering the layout of this place. Lead the way. Hey, everybody, follow me, Willow yells, waving the light around for attention. She heads down the hallway until she finds a staircase, and you all climb up one level. You check your cell. It has a signal here. You hang back while Willow and Xander keep herding people out of the lair. You dial Giles' number and wait for him to answer. Hello? Jenny says breathlessly. Miss Calendar, is Giles okay? You say. Buffy? She asks. Yes, put Giles on. He's still unconscious, she tells you. What happened? A chill creeps up your neck. I killed Bellicane and the leprechaun guy. Why is Giles still sick? I don't know, Jenny says. But he's barely even breathing anymore. I think he's dying, Buffy. You glance up to see Willow at the end of the hallway talking to Oz and Chris Pearson. She doesn't look happy. Okay, You have no idea what to do. I'll figure something out, you tell Jenny. You hang up and head over to Willow. What's going on? I think everybody's out, she says, but we have a problem. Eggs, says Chris. I think. He looks baffled. Hundreds of eggs, Oz agrees. Maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000, and they're developing really fast. You look at the two guys. Chris is blinking confusion. Oz looks less disoriented. Maybe he didn't get zapped with as strong a dose of Miss Bellakane's mind control juice. Chris, why don't you head back up to the surface, you say. Oz can tell us about the eggs. Okay, Chris says vaguely. What eggs? Willow points with the flashlight. Stairs. That way. She gives Chris a gentle push. Bellakane laid eggs as soon as she got into the lair tonight, Oz says. We don't know how long it would take for them to turn to ants, but it's going fast. A bunch of them are already moving around. The eggs are moving? Willow sounds horrified. I'm guessing no. The eggs develop into larvae or something, you tell her. Yeah, they did that. Oz looks grim. Most of them are about to be ants in 10 minutes or so. Then let's go kill them, says Cordelia. She and Xander have just come back down the stairs. Angel's with them. You throw yourself into his arms. Giles is still dying, you tell him. It didn't work. Your friends gasp. Mr. Giles, Oz says. The librarian. Now he's starting to look confused. Why is he dying? Willow cries. Bellakane mated with him by sucking out his life force. We thought killing her would make the life force flow back into Giles, Angel explains. The eggs, Willow gasps. When Bellakane laid the eggs, she probably fertilised them with Giles' life force. Oh, gross, Cordy mutters. Then we have to kill the eggs, you announce. Didn't I just say that? Cordelia asks. Where are they? You ask Oz. Down the ramp at the end of the hall, he points. Should I come with you guys? No, Xander says quickly. You get up to the surface, we'll take care of it. Oz heads off, glancing over his shoulder at you curiously. You don't have time to worry about what he thinks. You run for the ramp. There's an ant on the way up it. Not as big as Bellakane was, but about 1,000 times bigger than a normal ant. Looks like the eggs aren't eggs anymore, you say. The larvae aren't larvae, Willow corrects you. We have to kill them all if we want to get Giles' life force back. She sounds worried. Oz said there might be thousands of them, Xander adds. How are we going to kill that many? Anyone have some bug spray? You ask. You grab the ant and twist its neck before it has time to react. It drops to the ground, dead. One down. And 50 more approaching, Angel says. They're approaching fast, running up the ramp towards you like a pack of wild dogs. You attack. So do Angel, Xander, Cordelia and Willow. There's too many, you yell over the noise of a battle. We need a bomb or something, Xander yells back. Cordelia rolls her eyes. Anyone got a bomb? She calls. No, didn't think so. She throws an ant to the ground and jumps on its head with both feet, squashing it. Her face is twisted in a grimace of disgust the whole time. Magic, Willow gasps, struggling with an especially nasty ant. You reach over, grab its back two legs and pull them off. It goes down and Willow stomps on it. We can do a spell, she says. To reverse the mating thing, kinda. To make Giles' life force leave the ants and go back to Giles. You pull a stake from your jacket and toss it to her. Use this, stab them in the eye, you suggest. Willow won't be able to keep killing these things by hand for very long. Another ant grabs your arm in its pincers. You turn your arm with a sudden sharp jerk, twisting the ant over, and you stab it in the belly with another stake. Magic's looking like a good option right about now, Xander calls. Well, can you do a spell like that? You ask. Willow's been dabbling with some small magics lately. But what she's talking about seems like a major deal. No, but Miss Calendar can, Willow says. Your heart sinks. She's at Giles' apartment. I don't think we have time to wait until she gets here. Willow bites her lip. Well then, I can do it. I'll call Miss Calendar and have her tell me how. I'm sure I can manage it. But what if you can't? You ask. If the spell goes wrong, what happens to Giles' life force? I don't know, Willow shrugs. It could theoretically just vanish, or it could stay in the ants, or it could go into someone else entirely. You stare at her. This does not sound like a good plan. I didn't say it wasn't dangerous, she says. But what choice do we have? We can keep killing these things one at a time, Angel replies. You look around. You and your friends have killed 10 of the ants already. But there are more ants coming. The entire ramp is covered with them now. And there are probably 1,000 more deep down in the hole. If even one gets away, you lose part of Giles' life force. But Willow's an inexperienced witch. If her spell goes wrong, she could lose Giles anyway. What should you do? Do you decide to fight all the hatchlings, or trust Willow to do the spell? What are we doing, guys? Fight or spell? Spell. It's a tough call, I would say. Spell. Below, which means spell, I'm guessing. Spell. Could it spell trouble? Fight. Trust Willow. Mood. Spell. Well, I'm going to say spell has it based on that. So I want to go to 205, I think. Okay, call Miss Calendar. You toss your cell phone to Willow, but hurry. She runs back down the hallway as she dials to get away from the fight. You turn your attention to the ants. There are more of them every second. You and Angel take on as many as you can, both of you twisting and pulling at the heads. Cordelia and Xander form a sort of assembly line, with Xander knocking the ants to the ground and Cordy jumping up and down on them until they're dead. You've never seen Cordelia fight this way before. All that time as one of Bella Kane's guards must have been good for her. Cordelia! You throw her your stake. This will be faster. Oh, yuck. She moans as she stabs an ant. Why do I hang out with you guys? She stabs another one. You turn to look for Willow. She suddenly runs back down the hallway and plunges down the stairs that lead to the lower level. Where's she going? Angel asks. Dunno. You snap off another ant head. The ants are coming faster. I know, he says grimly. In a minute, Willow's back. She has an armload of scented candles from Bella Kane's over-decorated private room. Does anyone have matches or a lighter? She asks, dumping the candles on the ground. Xander pulls a metal lighter from his jeans and throws it to her. You all stare at him. What? He says. Chicks dig it when you light their cigarettes. Do you even know a single chick who smokes? Cordelia asks. Okay, fine. I used to like setting things on fire, Xander replies. Keep up, we're losing ground to the ants. Willow climbs over the dead ant bodies to you and grabs a handful of your hair. Ow! You say, frowning at her. Sorry, the spell needs hair or nails from a family member of Giles. You're the closest thing we've got. She yanks out what feels like 50 strands of hair, but only look like 5. But I'm not family, he protests. Won't that screw up the spell? There's only one way to know for sure, Willow says. Giles loves you like family and you love him. It should work. But what if it doesn't? You call after her. She doesn't answer. She's back on the phone with Jenny Calendar. Don't worry, Buff, Xander tells you. It will work. Willow will make sure we get Giles back. Yeah, and besides, we have no choice, Cordy adds. These ants are totally going to kick our butts if we have to keep fighting them. Thanks for the vote of confidence, you mutter. What? I'm just saying we're outnumbered. Cordelia stabs another ant. You're not that much of a superhero. Willow's busy setting up the spell in the hallway just beyond your fight. She kneels on the ground and uses her finger to draw a circle in the dirt all around her. She places candles around the circle and lights them. Okay, I need a piece of an ant, she calls. Angel picks up a head and tosses it at her. Willow catches it with a little shriek. She sets it on the ground in front of her and places her hair on top of it. Goddess of sky and sea, earth and air, I call on you, she says, her voice shaking. Her eyes meet yours. You can see the fear in them. You clamber over the ants to get to her, stopping right outside the magic circle. You can do this, Will, you tell her. I know you can. Get Giles back. She nods, then clears her throat. Her voice is stronger when she resumes the spell. Mother of all, Your child's life was taken by force. Release him now. Return him now. Release him now. She sets the head and your hair on fire. You watch, mesmerised, as the strands of hair curl up and disappear into smoke. And then the head explodes into a bright blue flame. The supernatural fire leaps into the air, burning like a pillar all the way up to the roof of the tunnel. And then it vanishes. The fire is gone. The ant head is gone. Everything is silent. Did it work? Cordy whispers. Suddenly, all the ants collapse. Dead, instantly. Every one of them. Giles' life force left them, Angel says. They can't live without it. So it worked? Cordy asks. You don't answer. You're too busy running for your cell phone. You grab it from Willow and dial Giles. He answers on the first ring. Buffy? Giles? Are you okay? Are you alive? You cry. I certainly hope so, he replies. Willow saved your life, you tell him. Willow shoots you a big, happy, ah shucks smile. So it would seem, Giles says, along with you and Jenny. Oh, Jenny. The Miss Bellicane situation comes rushing back to you. Are you in trouble with Jenny for dating a demon? You ask him. He hangs up on you. Everything okay? Angel asks. Totally. You give him a kiss. I'm so glad I have you. How much would it suck to find out you're dating an evil demon? Yeah, poor Giles, Xander agrees. You never expect your girlfriend to turn to a bug. Excuse me, have you guys noticed? Dead revolting bugs all over the place, Cordelia says. Let's get out of here. Willow leads the way out. On the surface, Principal Snyder has already arrived with the bulldozer. Summers, he sneers. I should have known you were behind this. Do you have any idea how much it costs to recreate a state-of-the-art football field like this one? He rambles on, but you ignore him. The sun is just rising over the field. All your friends are with you, and Giles will be okay. It's a great day. The end. Well, that's it. That's that adventure. I'm just going to check the other. Oh, if we went for the other option, we'd have got eaten by an ant. But we did it, guys. We told a story. How about that? Looks like flicking through, there are like a lot of different endings to this, and a lot of them aren't very good. So I think we went pretty well with that. Seems to have gone quite well. But that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Colony. So how about that? There weren't as many choices in there as I was hoping. There was a lot of really long passages. Some of them were broken up as I was reading, but I just carried on going because it was like, turn to page 94. So I read page 94, and then at the end it was like, turn to page 95. So I didn't bother saying that bit to you guys, because who would? But there we have it. That was an odd thing. The leprechaun demon, that was odd, wasn't it? The candy bar machine and Oz and the birdie were dark. Yeah, that was quite something. Poor bird. She-ant, not colony. She was the she-ant, wasn't she? My goodness. Yeah, that was an odd one. I'm not sure how I feel about the leprechaun demon, but apart from that, I guess it was okay. Weird ant demon woman. I feel like we dispatched of like the main threats quite easily in our one. There's definitely some here, I think, flicking through. There's one where Angel kills you, so that's something. I don't know how that comes about. There's another where Bellicane kills you and all sorts, so we did very well, I think. I imagine we got a very good ending there. And yeah, of course we trust Willow to make the right spell. Of course we do. So yeah, this was fun. It's a bit different. 2 hours. We've been going for 2 hours. Wow. We have been going for a long time, haven't we? That's okay though. Whatever. It is what it is. If we'd gone on for even longer, I feel like, oh, we have to do like a part 2 stream. But luckily we managed to get it done. So yeah. Well done, guys. We told a story. Whether or not it was good, I'll leave it up to you to decide. But there were some decent moments in there. Some funny lines. I feel like the characters are pretty spot on for the most part. And yeah, Oz was in it, which is cool. And Joyce had a cameo, which was cool. And we didn't die. We didn't get one of the endings where we all die. Everyone survived. That was all good. And yeah. I guess that's going to be that, because it's quite late here now. It's 10 to 10. I might have time to record the Angel finale, maybe. I don't know. I might just do that tomorrow. We'll see. But I also need to get some food. I'm quite hungry. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I know this was a bit of a different stream, maybe not to everyone's taste, but it's something I wanted to try. And I don't imagine we'll be doing it again, so not anytime soon, because all the other books I found on Amazon were really, really expensive. So I was like, no thanks. But yeah, this was a very different kind of thing. Thank you for making decent choices and for not killing anyone I loved. If Willow had died in this story, I would have deleted my channel, so I'm glad that didn't happen. But yeah, this was very cool, very different. And I will be dreaming of the leprechaun demon forever, I imagine. What a strange idea. But there we have it. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, Angel tomorrow, probably, the finale. And then Buffy after that. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. So thank you so much. And see ya.